Hello everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Spinning Plates. First up we have hosting by level of concern. I love the restaurant I work at generally, but over these past few weeks I've seriously been so frustrated I'm considering quitting. I've worked at this small family restaurant for the past 5 years now. I'm one of the few people that isn't related to someone working there and/or the owners. I'm also a full-time student and work another job part-time. Working weekends is great for the most part. Obviously, we get pretty busy, and at least one absolute jerk per day, but the familial feel and relationship with the other staff outweighs the negatives with customers determined to be mad over everything. The main issue that's been driving me absolutely insane is when I work weekdays. For weekday staff, we have 5 servers, 2 bussers, and 1 host staff. Plus the manager who is supposed to help out with the hosting, since it does get pretty busy during rushes and is hard to manage to-goes, register seating, and helping clear tables, because bussers get caught up with other stuff sometimes. Plus the servers, though I love them, always ask me to do things for them at the busiest times. There'll be a line at the door, to-go boxes piling up from the kitchen, I'm helping someone at the register with a queue behind, and inevitably someone will come up ask me to make them an acai bowl, help with side work, run a table, mix a drink. Well, first we need to teach them how to use their eyes, is what we need to do. I love to help, but it seriously stresses me out when they take no notice of me being stretched so thin. But they need help. What does it matter if... Okay, sorry. You said you like these people. We won't grumble too much. I have one server who will freak out. Okay, we don't like that person. If I give them 2 tables within 15 to 20 minutes of each other. Which I might understand to an extent if I were giving them like a 6-top, but these are usually 2 people, 4 max. They will berate me and tell me to stop seating them when I'm literally just following rotation. No, seat them more. Seat them into submission. The front of house manager is absolutely no help whatsoever. She sits in the booths and at the tables to talk to regulars, and stays for usually around 15 minutes at a time to catch up with them. Even when we're slammed and I'm trying to run around doing 10 things at once, I wonder how the people at the tables feel about that. Would not enjoy. She does this at least 5 to 7 times per day, which is so completely unacceptable in my opinion. And she also takes half of the hostess tips. Don't think that's allowed, but okay. Which is so annoying. I would check the law where you are. It might not actually even be legal. Obviously, the laws do vary depending on where you live. We don't get tip-outs from servers, so some days I won't get anything because there'll only be about $1 or $2 and she pockets it. Yeah, I think it's called theft. Sometimes, rarely, we'll get $10 to $20, which, not to seem ungrateful because I know it's better than nothing, is so maddening to see cut in half in front of me and only get $5 to $10 from it, especially when she gets paid way more than me and barely ever helps with hosting responsibilities. I know this isn't legal either. Why do you like working there? But I'm also not technically working there in an official capacity. So I don't think I can really complain, obviously. Well, wait till you leave and then drop them in it. But it's seriously so disheartening. I also don't know if this is normal, but hosts and hostesses are literally the only people in the restaurant that don't get tipped out. The kitchen and bussers get tipped by servers, but not us. I tried to move to bussing. The head busser asked if I would be interested in bussing, and I said yes. But the aforementioned manager told him I changed my mind and my schedule wouldn't have lined up anyway, which wasn't true. So they gave the open spot to someone else. Now the host that moved to busser makes $40 to $70 per shift, while I'm lucky to get $5. I'm seriously so sick of this job sometimes. Right, seeing what you noted in the comments, you've been moving come January, so it's a problem that's going to fix itself soon. But yeah, when you do go, I'd maybe call the labor board or something. That is shady as hell. 2. Veterans Day Crash Out by Cyrus Official. So I'm a server at an IHOP. We offered a free combo to veterans so long as they have an ID. Pretty good deal for them. Today I was training a new girl while taking a section of around 6 tables. One of our tables was a guy and 2 women, African American. I only feel the need to point out race because of something said later. We took their drinks and asked if they were ready to order. The guy asks for the veterans combo, and I say something like, "Alright, we do need to see an ID first, unfortunately," and he replies, "Are you seriously asking for an ID from a veteran?" And I assume he's joking because, yes, I am. He asks for a manager, so I say, yes, of course, I'll bring her right over. And I get my GM, who is busy but agrees to check on them in a couple of minutes. By then, I'm across the restaurant from them at the host stand. I can hear the guy being loud but not yelling. I then see my trainee drop off their drinks and the guy stands up, they talk for a second, and I think nothing of it until he's up in her face with his chest puffed up. Now, my trainee is a tall girl. I assume he was emasculated from having to look up at this poor girl to yell at her. After seeing this, I speed over to them and motion to my trainee to follow me to the back. She does. I hear the guy call her a trainee bitch who doesn't know anything. I have my manager handle it, since that's her job, and I go to the back where we get a phone call. I answer, and it's the police, who were alerted to something going on. From this point on, I stay in the back. But when I open the door to update the dispatcher on what's going on, I now see that all the servers are actively stopping this man from getting physical with my GM. The dispatcher asks for basic info, all that over a combo bowl, for which they must be delicious, for which I provide, and tells me to stay on the line till the police get there, so I do. This is when the guy says something about Mexicans and immigrants and ice. I'm assuming not the kind that goes in your soda. Which gets the servers heated because, well, we're all Mexican. One of our servers starts yelling back at the guy, and now they're having a screaming match in the middle of a restaurant, some of which the other servers get up to try to calm the guy, and they get yelled at too. Some were much older, so they just go and sit down instead. The whole time they've been approaching the entrance, while having the screaming match. I assume they're trying to leave, but the guy shouts, demanding an apology for being asked for an ID or something. You see, if he was in the military, wouldn't he have an ID he could just show you? The cooks run out, honestly ready for a fight. Because the managers are dating 2 of the cooks, so obviously they're gonna defend their girlfriends and wives. Nothing ends up happening. But the guy refuses to leave until the police arrive. They kick him out, obviously, and ask some servers if they want to press charges. To which I think they said no. Ow. In the end, everyone was kinda shaken up by it. But we ended up laughing it off later. Now, you see, I'd want to know where he served. I'd want to know who he answered to while he was in the military. I'd want to be able to, I'd want information I could check from that guy, the very least of which is just showing an ID. I expect he wasn't even actually military. Probably stolen valor or something. Right. Story number 3 is anonymous. I've been hosting at the same place for a few years. My boyfriend has also been working there for a few years. Last year he transitioned over from back of house to serving, because that's where the money is. Since then, I've had so many issues with the other servers accusing me of showing favoritism, skipping them on purpose, being sneaky, etc. If you're gonna get accused of it, may as well do it. Basically just putting my character into question. This was also an issue before he ever started serving, just not to the extent it is now. I feel like no matter what I do, I just can't win. I try to be very honest and fair, and like to think I'm a good person, but really it's just been getting to me. You probably are a good person, now it's time to show them how bad you can be. Some servers started saying I would show favoritism as a joke when my boyfriend transitioned to server. However, it very quickly became serious and multiple servers started to believe it was actually true. It's typically been the same servers, along with others that are no longer working there, having an issue with me since I first started working there. We've had a couple of confrontations, and management has had to get involved. The last big confrontation was with one server who accused me of skipping them to seat my boyfriend a big party. Once they realized their mistake, they tried to talk to me, but I was so frustrated because I'm constantly being shit on by this person that I broke down crying. Management had to intervene, and apologies were said, doubt they were meant, but at the end of the day, I know how this person truly feels. They still make comments here and there and pass it off as a joke, but I know it isn't. Just these past 2 days, this same server complained to another server about how I'm being unfair. What a whiny crybaby they are. And today, a different server, one I've never even had an issue with, also accused me of showing favoritism. Alright, I'm not even joking at this point. Start showing favoritism so they can see the difference. If you're going to get accused of it, then make it as bad as they want. Make it worse than they think it is. But be subtle enough so they can't actually prove it. I was very shocked by this because I liked this person, I like the past tense there, but had noticed a shift in their attitude towards me the last couple of weeks. Funny thing about all this is our chart system is electronic, and you can see how many tables and people each person has been sacked. I've also tried to explain any concerns they bring up to me, as well as over-communicate what is going on. If they get skipped, why they did, my plans to get them back, how I'm going to get back in the right rotation, etc. So I don't know why they are so convinced that I'm favoring my boyfriend over them. I would be caught so quickly. Every move I make, I know my manager would make the same. I'm so stressed and mentally exhausted. I pleaded with my manager to switch me to serving. Anything to get away from the constant accusations. Oh, it won't. No. They'll find things to complain about when you're a server, I assure you. I'm just so sorry. You'll get accused of stealing tables and things like that. I'm just so tired of feeling like this, and now I'm starting to believe I'm actually being unfair and just not seeing it. I've also noticed I'm subconsciously going out of my way to not seek my boyfriend. Accordingly, he shouldn't get punished for other people's stupidity. That'll put a strain on your relationship. Out of fear that these servers are going to have something to say. My manager has also talked to these servers before and pulled up the numbers, proving to them that I'm not being unfair. I just feel like no matter what, they're going to continue to believe their own narrative. It's very cliquey. I really don't know what to do at this point. Is this normal? No. Are hosts always getting put down like this? Well, hosts do kind of get crapped on in some places based on all the stories I've read. I really love this place. Why, though? I work. It's good money, great hours. And I just don't know if it's worth it at this point. It doesn't sound like it. I think you and your boyfriend both need to be looking for new jobs. But obviously, you can't just snap your fingers and get a new job, so you'll need to be there until you can find something, which, I don't know. This time of year, definitely, holiday staff is a thing, but you want somewhere that's going to keep you on permanently. So maybe after the new year would be a good time to look. Hard to believe we're in November already. What was I saying? I was getting shocked about the new year. Yes. I think just obviously it's getting to, it's frustrating you. Don't be doing anything different. Don't alter your behavior from what you've normally been doing because of these idiots. As you say, it's actually starting to affect your boyfriend now, and he's done nothing wrong. I mean, as far as we know, I mean, maybe he's done something wrong, but at least not at work. And that's not fair to him. And it's not fair to you that these little weasels are causing you to think you might be doing something wrong when you know you're not. Your manager's proving you're not. That's all the evidence you need. Let them believe whatever they want, and you just keep on keeping on until or if you choose to leave. I mean, quite frankly, if they keep acting like that, I would be surprised if they were kept around. I wouldn't want to keep people like that on staff. Okay. Story number 4. Annoying frequent customer that I don't know how to get rid of, by Carly Ann. So I regrettably became friends with a regular of mine. She's 40 years older than me and is the most annoying person I have ever met in my whole entire life. She is extremely loud and obnoxious, and makes my co-workers and I and my other guests extremely uncomfortable. She will chat non-stop with my customers, which will affect my tips because they're here for the experience. And I dead-ass apologize to them when she leaves. She brings up inappropriate topics constantly. She's racist, homophobic, great, you can ban her, even just for those two, but let's keep going. Islamophobic and anti-migrant, and a huge Trumpy. Yeah, you can ban her for all that. Especially that last one. Feel free to vent your rage about that in the comments. I tell her not to bring up politics, but she still finds a way in all of our conversations. She says so many out-of-pocket things in every single one of our conversations. I've never met anyone remotely similar to this woman. I cannot even get close to explaining how much I dislike her. Talking to her is so horribly draining. She is so rude and bitches about everything and feels like she's entitled to anything she wants. She is genuinely a walking nightmare. The first time I ever met her, I flat out told a co-worker that she was awful, and I hoped she'd never come to our bar ever again. We're friends, because I find it extremely hard to establish boundaries. She comes in at least once a week to see me, and gets 3 9-ounce glasses of wine. She will repeatedly oh, I know how to get rid of her, don't worry. She will repeatedly ask why I won't serve her more, and I dead-ass want to be like, because you're already an insane person, and you're just even more insane sober. She will start bawling to me and hyperventilating after 1 glass of wine because she gets super emotional. She preaches to me about Jesus all the time. She hugs me, oh no, inappropriate, will compliment me in weird ways, tells me she loves me, brings me gifts, will talk to me for over an hour each time she visits, ask to hang out, literally tells me her darkest secrets, her words, and texts me daily, and it makes my skin crawl. How does she have your phone number? What? Block that shit now. My co-workers always alert me when she comes in and talk about how sorry they feel for me that I have to deal with her. Fun fact, you don't. Make one of them do it. I don't know how to break this off kindly. You don't need to be kind. I don't want her to come to see me anymore. I'm so sick of her, and so are all the other employees. I don't want to be harsh, but she makes me dread coming into work on days I know she'll be in to see me. What the hell do I do? You're gonna have to be upfront and harsh, or you could do the subtle approach, which is when she starts spouting her Trumpy anti-everything bullcrap, just espouse opinions that are the opposite of that, because trust me, they can't handle that. Or, as you've said, you don't like her, the employees don't like her, I'm assuming the management must feel the same. Ban her. And definitely block her. She shouldn't have your phone number. Oh, heavens no. Whew. This is a part where you're gonna have to accept. Sometimes in order to get ahead in life, you have to be the bad guy, even momentarily. So you're gonna become the villain to her. And you just have to make your peace with that. To this person, they're going to see you as the bad guy. You're going to be their antagonist. Make your peace with that, and everything else will improve for you. Enter your villain era. That's what the kids say these days, isn't it? I'm old, I don't really know all the cool expressions. Fifth and final story, The Gringo on Expo by Reich70. The title was the guy's description, by the way. I got clean from drugs in January of this year. Excellent, good job. And I was extremely nervous about leaving the partial hospitalization program I was in after having been in the psych ward after an overdose. I liked the structure, and I was terrified of simply falling back into my old ways. I decided to throw myself at any job I could take before I tried to get back into school in the fall, and jumped at the opportunity to wash dishes at an upscale restaurant not too far from where I live. It was fucking hard. My co-workers in the pit with me spoke very little English, but everyone was very nice to me, and the working environment was friendly and understanding. When I would scrub the pans too hard and my wrists would ache, my fellow dishy would take over and tell me, "Slavy." Sometimes I would get home so terribly exhausted I would dream of using again every time I closed my eyes. As I continued to get more familiar with everyone else in the kitchen outside the bubble of the dish pit, I would talk to the self-described Gringo on Expo here and there. Eventually, I told him about why I wasn't in university anymore, and about Narcotics Anonymous and blah blah blah, and he was like, meh, which I found reassuring. As the weeks slowly rolled by and my cravings got better and better, excellent, I talked more and more about it. My boss was well aware of my status as a recovering drug addict, and he was very nice about it all. I would get friendly with another pastry chef as well, and I told her about my journey, with the help of Google Translate, of course. Es bueno. She was also very nice about it. It seemed to me that the people in this kitchen were really quite accepting of the turmoil I had brought with me, and I think that was just what I needed. Fast forward a month or so, and I made it to 90 days clean. I couldn't believe it. Just a few months earlier, I didn't think I could have made it even a day without using, and I had somehow strung together 90 of them. I mentioned it to the Gringo on Expo on my way in, and he lit up, congratulating me. I said I appreciated it, and ducked into the dish pit for another grueling day. I remember him calling out to me as he was leaving, and me and my coworker were working through the pile in the dish pit after services ended. He handed me a takeout container, and some of the fancy chocolate cake we served in it with "Congrats on 90 days" written on the top in Sharpie. I didn't know what to say. He had a grin on his face and reiterated his congratulations. I said thank you again, and said it meant a lot to me, still caught off guard. It hit me when I got in my car. I cried ugly tears. I could barely keep it together driving home. It was the first time I had experienced someone outside of the program, NA, being so caring and kind to me. I left the job earlier this year, as I'm in university again. Also got my wrists so fucked up I could barely write on bad days. The Gringo on Expo gave me his WhatsApp, as he doesn't have a phone number, and told me that if I ever wanted to wash dishes again or toss salads, to shoot him a message, keep it clean in the comments. I hope he knows how much that chocolate cake meant to me. I still have the takeout container in my room, and it brings me warm memory to mind every time I see it. That was so nice. I'm 10 months clean now, as grueling and exhausting as the dish pit was. I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Maybe if this university shit doesn't work out, I'll find myself taking the Gringo and Expo's offer up. Couldn't think of a better job to have after getting clean. I got very, very lucky. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us. That was actually lovely and a nice positive note to end things on. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Big thanks to everyone who allowed me to use their stories today. If you'd like to support the channel, you can sign up for my Patreon page. It's linked down in the description. $1 or more a month gets you access to the videos all at once on Monday. You'll also find a link to my merchandise store on Teespring. There are also links to my threads and my Discord server. And if you need to contact me for any reason, you want to send in a story, you have business inquiries, or you'd like a shout out, that's kingofthecities@gmail.com. That's also written out down in the description. That's everything for now. I'm craving chocolate cake and I have no sweets in the house. Trying to be a good boy lately, so I did the stupid thing and I bought mostly healthy crap while I was out, but I'm not quite at the point yet where I can just go without them entirely. Not that I'm going to go without them entirely forever, but just, cutting back. I'll be going out tomorrow to get some candy, no doubt, some chocolate probably, for the weekend. So until next time, thank you very much for watching, and take very good care of yourselves. Bye bye.